I'm Jodie Fox and I'm one of the co-founders of Shoes of Prey. So in terms of managing the global market in Omni-channel, it's very interesting. I think let's start with Omni-channel. So I think it's a beautiful word, but actually it's about listening to your customers and understanding where they need you to be. So a great example for Shoes of Prey is, frankly, I would have said you're absolutely mad if you'd said to me 5 years ago that you'll end up going offline. But the thing was that we listened to our customers and they kept saying to us, what will my shoes look like in real life? So we understood when we unpacked that in a little bit that the insights were that they wanted to try something on, they wanted to feel the leathers. They would just turn up at our headquarters to try shoes on when they were in town on a holiday. So for us, really listening to our customers meant that we understood that they needed a physical presence, and that's why we started opening stores. So I think with Omni-channel, it's really about listening to your customers and seeing where they need you to be, as opposed to saying, okay, we need to have a physical presence. Okay, so I think that the best way for brands to be enhancing their digital presence is, firstly, when they're in the social channels, to understand that they are social. They're places where we as human beings love to hang out and interact with each other. So brands are no longer brands, they're actually personalities. So really applying that human etiquette to the way that you're interacting is super critical in those. And I think if you use that as a bit of a yardstick, then that's when you start to communicate really well through social media. With respect to taking the digital platforms around the world, really focusing in on maybe first testing in a couple of geographies and then making sure that you can pick out those little things that need to work better for those markets, whether it's simply translating the site into the language or making sure that it's available in that local currency. Both of those help to increase the customer acquisition and lifetime value as we've seen it. We actually get 80% of our traffic, or 75 to 80% of our traffic, from word of mouth. So really continuing on that path. So one of the things that happened when we first started the business is that we'd all read a book called The Purple Cow by Seth Godin. I mean, we're looking for things that truly are shareable, and we look for that in every aspect of our business. So if you receive a pair of Shoes of Prey, and you should totally check it out, you'll see that the packaging is really spectacular, because we want to be there with you for that moment that you first see your shoes come to life. But also we noticed that a lot of people have them shipped to offices, so that becomes a very shareable moment, and we often see that a couple of weeks later we're delivering 5 more pairs to that same address. So I think that the opportunity to create word of mouth is in every single aspect of your business. And then in terms of the actual marketing channels, emails are certainly the most powerful thing that we use. The key piece of advice that I would give to retailers at this point in time, and what I've learned so far from going into the US, so we opened 6 stores with Nordstrom. We did our first test store in November last year, and then the next 5 stores just in the first 6 months of this year. So we've just sort of come off the back of that and got some great learnings. Probably the biggest thing that I learned was that America is, in terms of marketing, is much more akin to Europe. So I think that my initial thought was going into America and thinking that people in New York were the same as people in Texas, and they're certainly not. They're all very separate cultures, accents, ways of going about life and things like that. So it's a much more fragmented, although very large opportunity. We place a huge amount of importance on reporting. We analyze as much as we possibly can about the business on an ongoing, live basis. So we have people on the team dedicated to analysing that data on an everyday basis, and we're constantly surveying our customers as well as watching what they're doing online and in our stores as well. So we place an absolutely enormous amount of emphasis on that, and we find that it does a couple of things. One, it helps us to realise our customers might tell us they want something, but customers always can't really tell you what they need, but they can show you through the way they're behaving. And secondly, it's super important because if we're watching all of that stuff happen live, it means that we make mistakes for a less long period of time. We can fix things more quickly.